This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, heating hike. Superior propane customers cry foul over an increase in tank rental fees.
Healthcare clash. Ottawa punishes Nova Scotia for allowing patients to pay for private MRIs and ultrasounds.
And a dining discount. Halifax restaurants welcome federal tax relief.
Flurries wrapping up this evening into the overnight as the winds ease into Thursday. Chilly, but we'll see some sunshine. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Many places in Nova Scotia rely on propane to heat their homes during the winter. But some customers of Superior Propane are voicing outrage and frustration following a hike in their tank rental fee.
The national company says the affected customers didn't use enough propane. As our consumer affairs reporter Angela McIver reports, customers say they're being gouged during a cost of living crisis.
When Patricia Jodry bought her propane fireplace 4 years ago, she had a plan to turn it on only in emergencies. Then last summer, Superior sent her an email.
Due to the infrequent propane deliveries, we need to increase the equipment rental rate to ensure fairness and sustainability. The notice that I got was like very cold, like shame on you because you didn't use our propane enough. And because of that, we're going to raise the price. We're going to double it.
She wasn't the only one. Matthew Savoie received the same notice with an increase of 50%.
Bit of a shock, bit of a surprise. Definitely got me a little bit angry, a little heated, and definitely something I wanted to deal with.
The price jump is solely for the equipment rental. When the tank is filled, the cost of propane is a separate expense. CBC has been contacted by more than 20 additional customers who also received a letter and were upset. All of them tell me they have since canceled their contract with Superior because of the price jump. In a written statement, Superior says its rental fees are adjusted when tanks become inactive or are used minimally for extended periods of time. These changes help offset the rising costs associated with maintaining and inspecting equipment while complying with regulations and reinforcing our commitment to safety. Superior also said the cost to purchase new propane storage has increased significantly in recent years. But this consumer advocate doesn't buy it.
It's a classic case of big companies squeezing customers for the benefit of shareholders. It's unfair, and there should be rules against this.
Both Savoie and Jodry switched companies at no cost, but Savoie says after 2.5 months of waiting, Superior just picked up his tank today. Angela McIver, CBC News, Halifax.
With long waits for ultrasounds and MRIs, some Nova Scotians are paying private clinics so they can get care sooner. But the federal government says those services should be publicly funded, and they're punishing Nova Scotia for allowing patients to pay. Taryn Grant has that story.
Susan Hart takes painkillers every day to cope with a knee injury. It happened last winter, and she spent 4 months at home waiting for an MRI to diagnose the problem. She got tired of waiting.
At this point, I'm desperate, honestly.
That desperation drove her to spend more than $1,100 for an MRI at a private clinic. The clinic gave her the results on a disc and a diagnosis: torn meniscus. She'll need surgery to fix it. She would have waited another 6 months if she stuck with the public system.
I think it's a blessing and a curse. It's a shame that there needs to be clinics like this, I guess. But at the same time, it gives people more options.
Ottawa says this should not be happening, and it has told the province to ensure that MRIs and ultrasounds are publicly funded. Over the last 2 years, it's clawed back more than $3 million from Nova Scotia's health transfer payments as punishment. Meanwhile, private clinics that offer diagnostic imaging are multiplying. For many years, Nova Scotia had just one, but a second opened last year, and a third is slated to open later this month. This radiologist founded the company that opened an ultrasound clinic in Halifax last summer. He already had more than a dozen clinics across Alberta and Saskatchewan. He says he was drawn to Nova Scotia for this reason.
Mostly because we learned that there's a very, very long wait time.
Political scientist Catherine Fearlbeck says one way Nova Scotia could resolve this issue would be to publicly fund the private clinics. Other provinces have done exactly that.
It would be a fairly relatively simple matter to establish contracts with these facilities such that they are being paid directly by the province.
Madubobi says that's how his other clinics operate.
In the long term, it's always beneficial for patients and likely for even the province financially, because then people would just get care earlier rather than wait later, and then the cost mounts up.
Nova Scotia Health Minister Michelle Thompson would not do an interview, but her department says it's working with Ottawa on a solution. If it finds one, it could get the money that was clawed back reimbursed. Taryn Grant, CBC News, Halifax.
A disturbing series of murders in Nova Scotia is prompting urgent calls for action. In the past 3 months, 6 women have been killed by their male partners. Kayla Hounsell reports now on what some say needs to change.
In North Preston, Nova Scotia, an entire community gathers to remember a 40-year-old woman and her father.
I'll say sleep tight, my cousin.
Coralie Smith, who went by Alicia, and her father were shot and killed by her boyfriend on New Year's Eve. Smith is one of 6 women killed by their male partners in Nova Scotia within just 3 months. Brenda Tatlock Burke was killed by her husband, a retired RCMP officer. Elaine Mosier and Nicole Murphy, both also killed by their partners in their homes. And just 3 days ago, a 22-year-old woman was killed in this home in the Annapolis Valley.
Almost everybody knows everybody, and certainly everyone in that subdivision would have been probably touched by these people.
In the latest case, a man has been charged with second-degree murder and arson with disregard to human life. In all of the other cases, the men died by suicide.
The motion is carried.
In September, the Nova Scotia legislature passed a bill declaring domestic violence an epidemic. The Mass Casualty Commission, examining the mass shooting in the province in 2020, also recommended, quote, epidemic-level funding for the prevention of gender-based violence. Last week, advocates sent this letter to government saying this is a troubling pattern that underscores the critical need for immediate action. They met with provincial officials Tuesday.
I do not want to see another article that somebody lost their life. I don't want to see that. So we're asking for change, and now.
As another woman is laid to rest, advocates say more mental health supports, safe and affordable housing, and poverty reduction are all necessary to prevent even one more death at the hands of an intimate partner.
Rest in peace, Alicia. I love you forever.
Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
Police have charged a man with murder after an assault last spring at East Coast Forensic Hospital. Last May, police were called to the hospital after a patient assaulted another patient. A 69-year-old man sustained serious injuries, while 32-year-old Mohammed Isaac was charged with aggravated assault. In July, the victim, Alan Nickerson, died. His death was ruled a homicide, and the charges against Isaac were upgraded to second-degree murder.
And with us now, Ryan Snoddon to talk weather.
Kind of feels steady as she goes right about now.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way of putting it. The temperatures are going to be certainly fluctuating over the next few days, but again, no major systems tracking through. Don't raise your voice too loud. They might hear us. Yeah, we are looking at, definitely some ups and downs with the temperatures. You can see temperatures right around the freezing mark for Cape Breton tomorrow will be anywhere from -2 to -5 across the mainland. The northwest winds, which are pretty biting out there this evening, will continue to ease as we move through the overnight and into tomorrow. They'll continue to drop from morning into the afternoon. But it doesn't take much when the temperatures are this chilly to make it feel even chillier. You can see wind chill values this evening as you head out for that last walk with the dog. Tomorrow morning, it is going to be feeling more like the minus double digits in teens, pretty much widespread across the province. And then into the afternoon, we're going to see those wind chill values easing somewhat, but still a bite to the air, no question. Now, looking ahead, These flurries that are going to be lingering overnight in the northeast will wrap up, and we're looking at a pretty quiet day for Thursday with that sun. More sun into Friday. The weekend brings a warm up and lots of cold air next week.
Stay tuned. All right, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Restaurateurs in the Halifax area say the current tax break set up by the Trudeau government appears to be working. The federal Liberals eliminated the tax on food and most alcohol served in restaurants as a way to help the industry and give Canadians a break. But it's not permanent, and that has some in the industry worried. Preston Mulligan reports.
Andre Pratt moved his Studio East Asian Gastro Pub into its new spot on Agricola Street last year. It's bigger than the old space, but he's finding it suddenly easier to fill up on what are usually off days.
We're starting to fill up the weekdays a lot more. We're seeing a lot of our slower days during the week, whether between the Tuesday and the Thursday, are getting a lot busier, which is really nice. Because we know oftentimes the weekends are easier to fill up.
He credits the tax break. Restaurants Canada says those in the industry nationwide stand to earn $1.5 billion. Its estimated share for Nova Scotia restaurateurs is in the neighborhood of $60 million.
We believe it's a very conservative estimate, though. It could easily be more than this.
The association will have harder data next month. For now, though, they're pleased with what they're hearing from members.
Anecdotally, what we're hearing is reservations are up, and they're also bigger reservations or larger parties than we would normally see this time of year, which means people are going out and they're bringing friends and family along, which is good news.
Like this family birthday party at noon on a weekday. Managers here at Millstone's Public House in Dartmouth say it's hard to say yet how much of an impact the tax break is having, but they'll miss it when it's gone.
People are getting used to the experience of not having tax on their restaurant bill. So when we have to put it back on, they might feel like, oh, our prices have gone up, which we won't adjust our prices at all. It just will feel that way.
Restaurants Canada says with its members enjoying the extra money and business, its new goal is to lobby the federal government to make it permanent. Preston Mulligan, CBC News, Halifax.
Many Atlantic Canadians are starting 2025 just $200 or less away from not being able to pay their bills. That's according to the latest Consumer Debt Index from MNP. Tara Siliker, a licensed insolvency trustee, says many people are turning to lines of credit and credit cards. And while interest rates are falling, it's not always enough to relieve that debt.
People that have their mortgage coming due soon or do have that kind of debt that reacts instantly to interest rate decreases like a line of credit. Next month's payment will be smaller than this month's payment if the interest rate dips down a bit. It does all help. We are finding that, and the last time that the index was released, we found that people were feeling a little bit better because there had just been a couple of decreases in the interest rate, and certainly more is good if you have a debt load and if interest rate can go down. But a lot of times we're finding that it's not quite enough.
The MNP survey found a significant number of people are worried about losing their jobs this year. Siliker says that feeling is likely a response to a tightening job market.
After criticism over a plan to transfer baby eel quotas away from longtime license holders, the Federal Fisheries Department is delaying information sessions on the pilot project. In December, Ottawa announced a plan to redistribute 27% of the total maritime catch of about 10,000 kilograms of elvers from 9 commercial license holders to 120 who would operate on their own. Each of the 120 recipients would gain the right to catch 22 kilograms. However, fishers have said they would rather remain employees of the license holders than be pitted against them. The Federal Fisheries Department says in an email that the information session planned for next week is postponed as the government continues to evaluate comments on the proposal.
The federal government has designated 3 Nova Scotia islands as Canada's newest national wildlife areas.
Ilote in the Upper Bay of Fundy, Country Harbour in Guysborough County, and St. Paul Island off northern Cape Breton are all home to migratory birds and other species at risk.
Because of the designation, the species will now have protections. The fisheries in these areas will not be impacted. The province says the designation contributes to the goal of protecting 20% of Nova Scotia's land and water by 2030. There's a peek at New Glasgow today. Ryan is up next with the full weather forecast, and we will see you in just a few minutes.
Well, Ryan whispered it earlier, but something to the effect that, it's been quiet and all that kind of stuff. And, well, here we go.
The temperatures are looking further into the forecast. They're taking quite a dive.
Yeah, really, it's going to feel like winter. Won't necessarily look like winter everywhere because, we'll have to see what Monday shapes up like. There is a front coming through. Forecast models, as I've been saying the last couple of days, we're thinking about throwing a storm into the mix, then backing off. Now it's kind of like just some snow along a cold front.
Keep whispering.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, behind that front, good agreement that we will see a cool down. It does look like winter in some parts of the province, of course, Cape Breton and also Yarmouth County. Remember that system that was passing to our south yesterday?
Pretty.
That spun up some locally heavier bands of snow. This one, Bill Curry, and he's measuring 25 fresh centimeters there. That's in Port Maitland. And yeah, you can see some of the totals from our volunteer observers and how variable the snowfall was in through the southwest. it was expected to be pretty light for most, and under 10 centimeters was indeed what most folks saw there across the west. But boy, yeah, obviously a locally heavier band here, likely aided by some onshore flow. We had 25 in Port Maitland, 13 in Yarmouth, and 18 centimeters at Tuscot. So, yeah, certainly some heavier bursts there thanks to that system. And big thanks to Bill for reaching out. Temperatures out there right now, anywhere from 0 to -5. That's our range. And as we look at the winds, they've been pretty breezy, and they will continue to be breezy tonight. Sustained in the generally 20 to 30 range, but we are seeing some stronger winds at Westport and Caribou Point, sustained at 41. And we're gusting upwards of 50 kilometers per hour in a few spots, especially along parts of the coast. And we've got some flurries rolling through. Now, what we'll be seeing for tonight is those flurries moving out, the winds easing, temperatures staying quite chilly into tonight and tomorrow. There's the area of high pressure that's going to be working its way into the area. That'll be brightening the skies, bringing us some sunshine over the next couple of days, and that'll be welcomed whether there's snow on the ground or not. Note the milder air building in to the prairies right now, up to the freezing mark, Winnipeg and southern Saskatchewan. That cold pocket moving through the Great Lakes, that's what we will be feeling here over the next couple of days before those temperatures bump up for us as well. That warmer air over the prairies, that air mass will eventually wander east here into us for the weekend. Tonight, temperatures will be back in the -6 to -10 range for most, closer to -5 for Cape Breton and back towards the Tri-County area. Note the winds, northwest sustained 20 to 30, gusting 40 to 50 kilometers per hour overnight. So as I mentioned earlier in the program, those wind chill values are certainly going to be into the minus double digits and teens to start the day tomorrow. Note the flurries moving out, but still a chance of an isolated flurry tomorrow here in the northeast and a slight risk into the south and west, but it looks like that will remain offshore for the most part. It's clouds building in for you folks into the afternoon. We will see the clouds dominating, I think, for Cape Breton tomorrow. A couple of sun breaks possible, but it's a greater chance of that back west into the mainland. The northwest winds will stay a little bit breezier here, sustained near 20, gusting 30 to 40 into the afternoon. Whereas for central parts of the mainland, they will ease further. Looks like 10 to 20 into the afternoon, still from the northwest. Temperatures -3 to -6. And into the west, temperatures ranging between -3 and -5. And again, those winds easing into the afternoon. There's Friday. Few flurries, no question. Some sun breaks, also looking pretty likely. And we'll be watching the most greatest risk for flurries here will be across the eastern parts of the mainland and into Cape Breton. Could see a flurry in through the west as well. High pressure moving in. Now, unfortunately, when the high is going to be dominating the most will be Friday night. And then Saturday, we've got the increasing clouds, the winds moving in from the south, and that wet weather you see over Cape Cod and New England will then push in Saturday night into Sunday. That's looking likely mid-single digit highs on Sunday. Snow Monday. Light snow looking more likely at this point, but that's a little more uncertain. And what is certain is that big cold shot coming Tuesday, Wednesday, and likely into Thursday as well. Tom and
Getting
Amy.
chilly for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thanks so much, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. Coming up, the Black Cultural Centre for Nova Scotia gears up for a multi-million-dollar expansion. We get a preview. Big things are in store for the Black Cultural Centre for Nova Scotia here in Cherrybrook, and I'm here with Executive Director Russell Gross. So you've got some major upgrades planned. Can you walk me through them?
Sure, yeah. The Black Cultural Centre, a few months ago, as we entered our 40th year, we made an announcement that we wanted to expand the centre, and the plans are in the working for the last 5 years or so, and we felt confident to be able to go forward with it. And the new expanded centre will be more of what we already do, an expansion upon the work that the centre has built on over the last 40 years, in particular performing arts, theatre. Community use spaces has been a big thing, providing equitable spaces for community to be able to gather, have important discussions about the issues of the day, and of course history preservation. And when we think of the history preservation, we have 40 years of storing history and artifacts, and it's become really important to the community to be able to showcase history, and so we're looking at ways in which we can increase our footprint in sharing the narrative of African Nova Scotians and African Canadians.
Now, what's the price tag on this, and how are you going to cover the cost?
Well, we have an extensive fundraising campaign that we're involved in right now. We're, in as they say, the silent phase of the campaign, where we're, looking for big gifts and sponsors. And the outpouring has been great by the business community, by the general community itself. And of course, we have applications into various levels of government, all three levels, to seek support. And it's a project that's estimated to be most likely around $30 to $40 million. But that price tag, of course, changes as we continue to move the horizon forward and come up with the final design.
But you're confident you'll meet that goal?
I think so, yeah. I think that, there's an appetite for more work to be done in this area in our country, being able to share diverse cultures and history. And the Black Cultural Centre is a sustainable organization that, has proven itself over the last 40 years as the voice of history and culture, not only here in Nova Scotia, but across the country.
And when do you hope to break ground?
Our hope is to start to break ground in 2026 at a time when, we can move forward with a project that will probably be about a 2-year project.
Can you talk to me a bit about what you hope this expansion will do for people in the community? What kind of, what it will add to the experience of coming here?
I think it will embrace the experience of a greater understanding of diverse cultures. I think that when we think of Black history and cultures of marginalized communities, they're always thought of in silos. And I think that, one of the things that the Black Cultural Centre has done well in working at is creating an opportunity where it's looked at as Nova Scotia's culture, as Canada's heritage. And I think that it expands upon that. I think it creates a space where people of all races, all cultures can come together and learn about each other and feel safe in that space and feel that they can ask any question that they need to ask and get a greater understanding. And I think when you think of Black history and Black culture, for decades, people of color have always looked at their history as being negative. You think of the connotations of horrific things like slavery. But I think that places like the Black Cultural Centre have revolutionized that and have changed that. And we look at heroes and we look at people that have made a difference and made remarkable contributions to society and that have helped build, Canada's society as a nation. And so I think when you look at that from that perspective, it's a place of hope. It's a place of perseverance, a place of celebration.
Is there a typical visitor who comes here?
It's actually quite unique what we see here at the Black Cultural Centre. We see, thousands of school kids through here through school programs. Tourists come here during the summer tourism season, and during the rest of the year, the community uses it as a gathering space. Just this week, we've had organizations like the Royal Canadian Mounted Police that do training here of cultural competency. So it's sort of a wide range, and it's kind of hard for us, to really put a fingerprint on it, on, what actually our audience is. And so I think that's one of the attractions about the Black Cultural Centre. Young or old, any race, people are here, and it's a good rallying place and a good gathering spot.
Well, best of luck going forward, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Coming up, millions of people in Southern California are still on edge as more winds and dry conditions are forecast, with crews continuing to battle wildfires.
And Prime Minister Justin Trudeau met with all of the premiers to plan a possible response to Donald Trump's tariff threats, but is Team Canada on the same page? Welcome back. There has been a major breakthrough in the Middle East crisis. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire in Gaza and hostage release.
The deal comes after intense negotiations in Doha. It consists of 3 phases and is set to go into effect on Sunday.
Phase 1 of the agreement will go on for 42 days, and it will include a ceasefire and the withdrawal of Israeli forces to the east away from populated areas. Israeli forces will then be positioned along the Gaza border, and which will allow for the swap of prisoners as well as the swap of remains and the return of the displaced people to their residences.
Under the terms, Hamas will release 33 Israeli hostages during Phase 1, including children, the elderly, and the sick or wounded. They will be exchanged for a number of Palestinian prisoners in Israel.
The first phase will also see an increased flow of relief and humanitarian aid and fuel into Gaza. There will also be a focus on getting hospitals, health centers, and bakeries running again. Officials say the details of the next 2 phases will be finalized during the implementation of the first round.
People in Los Angeles and that area are bracing for more dangerous and dry wind gusts that could trigger new fires. But there's hope the worst from the wildfires that started more than a week ago may have passed. Journalist Steve Futterman has more.
The winds did come, but they were not as strong as expected. And now it's hope the worst may be over.
We understand your desire to return to your community. However, significant safety and infrastructure issues remain.
Throughout the day, with the potential of strong winds, fire crews were pre-positioned in strategic locations, ready to jump on any new outbreaks. And there were several, but in each case, fire crews got the upper hand. This is one time people are happy the weather forecast was wrong. It appears Los Angeles has dodged a bullet, but there is still a long and difficult and expensive road ahead. A week after the fires began, the devastation is still hard to totally comprehend. Entire neighborhoods no longer exist. They are completely flattened. And examples of the human toll and the psychological fallout is evident every day.
When you stare at your front door that's gone, and you have the few moments to contemplate, what does this really mean to my life? I mean, I still don't fully understand everything I have is gone.
Also today, new reports in the Los Angeles Times that on the night the fires broke out, the LA Fire Department did not deploy all personnel available. The newspaper reports fire officials chose not to order the firefighters to remain on duty for the second shift last Tuesday as the winds were building, which would have doubled the personnel on hand.
We followed the system. We surged where we could surge. And in fact, I'll be the first one to stand up and say, yeah, we need help. Thank God for our agencies around us. That happened so quickly without delay. With a phone call, we got the resources where we needed to do the greatest good at that time.
LA Mayor Karen Bass continues to be under fire for being in Ghana when the fires began. She was attending the inauguration of that country's new leader. Pictures published today show her at a cocktail party supposedly taken when homes were burning. LA needs a break, and it may get one starting tomorrow. The forecast calls for calmer winds. Sea breezes will begin to come on shore and bring with it moisture, which should raise relative humidity. Even with that, however, there are still fires to put out. Steve Futterman for CBC News, Pacific Palisades, California.
The Los Angeles area is home to thousands of Canadians, and many are among those who lost everything to the fires. Lindsay Duncombe spoke with some of them.
It's like we're starting over again, starting our life again.
Brian Hughes grabbed one guitar when he left his Altadena home and music studio. The rest are gone.
So how many guitars did you lose?
About 40.
40?
Yeah.
Hughes is originally from Edmonton. He leads the tour band for Canadian Celtic singer-songwriter Lorena McKennitt. His home was a place where people would gather to create music.
It was like a little oasis.
For now, he and his wife are staying with a friend from Ontario, soon moving to the California condo of a former guitar student from Edmonton.
And he said, hey man, you can, stay in my condo in Pasadena, till, middle of March or maybe even longer if you want.
The hardest part is the anxiety of not knowing what's next.
This is my grandmother's.
Karen Weber's family lost their home in the Palisades. What they grabbed when they had to flee? So Canadian.
And we took the skates, of course. Yeah, didn't get the hockey equipment, but we got the skates.
They just managed to secure a rental home. It's been tough.
And the prices are going higher and higher and higher. They're asking for 2-year leases, which is crazy when you're like so frantic. In the back of our mind, we're thinking maybe we'll spread our money a little better and come back to Vancouver for a couple months, and before we even start the building process.
With the leaves and the forest pattern, because that's what I left behind to come down here.
NASA scientist Raymond Francis saved the quilt his grandma made him to remind him of Sudbury.
A few little mementos.
And this space-themed box of precious mementos.
Here's my friend and the driveway.
He had just purchased his Altadena home. He's had offers to come stay in Canada, too.
But in the end, I came here to explore the planets, and that's where we do this. So I'm going to do my best to stay here.
Rover missions.
But like so many Canadians at the top of their fields, LA is the place to be. However changed it is. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Los Angeles.
Donald Trump has threatened to impose tariffs on all Canadian goods when he becomes U.S. president next Monday. So with days to go, the Prime Minister met with premiers to chart a possible response. While they're not revealing their plan, they are attempting to show a united front. But as Olivia Stefanovich reports, Alberta is objecting to using Alberta oil as a bargaining chip.
Premiers arrived in the nation's capital in a last-ditch effort to deliver a unified message.
We cannot let President Trump divide us.
But before their meeting with the Prime Minister even began, tensions threatened to split Team Canada.
There's one thing that's more important than jurisdictions, is standing up for the country. Country comes first over anything.
Divisions remained over how aggressive Canada should respond to Donald Trump's threats.
A broad-based tariff war is not good for Canada. Canada does not do well in that environment.
Specifically, whether Canada should consider withholding oil and gas exports to the U.S.
I see energy as Canada's queen in this game of chess. We don't need to expose our queen too early.
Some leaders have tried to strike on their own. Alberta Premier Daniel Smith visited Mar-a-Lago without letting Ottawa or the other provinces know.
We didn't get a heads up, no. I'm interested in learning more.
With Inauguration Day less than a week away and no sign of Trump backing off.
Perhaps we need to take a step back and ask, what is the strategy?
Premiers are looking to Ottawa for answers.
Why do we have an economy that can be crushed on a whim by a president?
There was not any doubt that we would be dealing with tariffs. I think it was always about trying to minimize the impact.
The Prime Minister says they all share a common goal.
We have already been and will continue to be united in standing up for all Canadians, standing up for the national interest.
The meeting lasted more than an hour longer than expected, and although the premiers and the Prime Minister appeared together in a closing news conference projecting a united front, Alberta's premier, who appeared at the meeting virtually, took to social media to criticize the federal government for continuing to float the idea of using Alberta's oil in Canada's retaliatory response. Olivia Stefanovich, CBC News, Ottawa.
The Canadian Real Estate Association has released its report for December. It shows 2024 ended on a high note with increases in both home sales and prices. Scott Peterson has the details.
There are signs of life with the Canadian real estate market this morning, both in terms of sales and of prices. This is according to the Canadian Real Estate Association for the month of December. They're looking at sales increasing, and everyone's been watching to see how many more buyers will come into the market now that we're seeing a trend of lower interest rates. Let's get right to the report for December this morning. Sales month over month, a little bit soggy, 5.8% to the downside. But since the Bank of Canada started lowering interest rates back in June, we're seeing Sales up 13% since then. Over this time last year, sales up close to 20%. We're also seeing overall in the fourth quarter, sales up 10% quarter over quarter, making it one of the strongest quarters in the last 20 years. Now, new listings down 1.7% month over month, but a multiple listing service that Korea controls, we're seeing about 128,000 properties listed for sale, and that's up about 7.8% as far as the volume of what's listed there from this time last year. Now, probably most important to a lot of buyers and sellers out there is the national sales price. That's creeping up as well, up 2.5% over this time last year. The average home price in the country is now just over $676,000. It's down from a longer term trend just a few years ago, but you can see the trend is creeping up there. Now, some of the predictions are they're expecting to see buyers coming into this market, quote unquote, in big numbers in the next few months, and that's in anticipation of traditionally what is the busy springtime market for real estate. But there is a caveat from some of the banks. TD Bank, for example, a little bit more cautious, saying that there is a lot of uncertainty out there as far as the predictions goes because of a potential tariff imposition by the U.S. economy. So lots of question marks regarding that. But overall, the strength of the real estate market is showing somewhat to be buoyant with lower interest rates overall. Scott Peterson, CBC News, Toronto.
The U.S. Health Agency is broadening its ban on an additive known as red dye number 3. It's because of concerns of a cancer risk. The dye gives some candies, snacks, and maraschino cherries a bright red hue. It's also found in some dietary supplements and medicines, such as cough syrups. Almost 35 years ago, the U.S. banned it from cosmetics after a study found it caused cancer in lab rats. Food manufacturers have until January 2027 to remove the dye from products, and makers of ingested drugs have until 2028.
It's the time of year when chilly Canadians like to head south. But one family in Saskatoon has a cautionary tale to share after a rough time in Mexico. They say their hotel pressured them to sign a non-disclosure agreement in exchange for medical help. As Jeremy Warren reports, it's a story the resort in Cancun worked to keep quiet.
It was a Christmas to remember at the Royalton Splash Riviera Resort in Cancun.
Booked at the Royalton.
But Allison Field says she felt more like a hostage than a guest. Field, her husband, and their 4-year-old son got food poisoning along with dozens of other guests, so sick they needed to go to the hospital. Field says resort staff told her she had to sign a non-disclosure agreement, or NDA, before leaving the resort.
It was clear, it was flagrantly clear that they really didn't care about us or our health. Like, my son is 4, he was vomiting and shaking, and they wouldn't let us leave, and she just kept trying to get me to sign the NDA. So yeah, I was incredibly upset.
Field says other resort guests have told her they were also pressured to sign a confidentiality agreement. One expert says NDAs are becoming more common in the image-obsessed hospitality industry.
What that message with the NDA sends is that we're not going to fix this problem. We don't care if our guests get sick. And that's not the image you want to put out to the broader audience when the NDA and the news of the NDAs do come out. It's not a good business practice.
Hotel giant Marriott International lends its brand and loyalty rewards program to the resort.
Royalton Splash is owned by Blue Diamond Resorts. A Blue Diamond spokesperson says the company is investigating.
I felt like they were stopping us from receiving care. They were putting my family's lives in danger, really, when they were incredibly ill. Yeah, I did. I felt held hostage. And people did sign the NDAs, because if they're really sick and they really need to go to the hospital, sometimes they're just going to sign it. But it's totally under duress.
While some guests did sign the NDAs for compensation, Field is glad she did not. She's free to use her story as a warning to other travelers. Jeremy Warren, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The largest religious festival in the world has just started in northern India. Hundreds of millions of Hindu pilgrims will be dipping into the chilly waters at the junction of 2 sacred rivers over the next several weeks. The CBC's Salima Shivji tells us why this year's gathering is so significant.
A maha, or
Grand Kumbh Mela comes around every 12 years. It's an auspicious time for people to bathe in the rivers considered most holy in Hinduism. But this year is especially significant, and that's because the planets, the sun, the moon are all perfectly aligned to make this one more spiritual for devotees. And it's already the largest religious gathering in the world. It's so big it can be seen from space. And today alone, some 20 million people have bathed in the waters considered holy at the spot where the Ganges, the Yamuna, and the mythical Sarasvati rivers meet.
I can visualize myself being there. It was one of the most wonderful experiences of life.
The devotees today led by thousands of Naga sadhus, holy men smeared in ash, naked and plunging into the waters. The river is thought by devout Hindus to purify souls and wash away sins. This year, a staggering 400 million people are expected to converge on this area. Indian nationals as well as many foreigners, visitors from other countries coming to bathe in those waters for this special festival, which lasts 45 days. It is a staggering organizational feat to accommodate all of these people. Basically, tens of thousands of portable toilets have been set up, as well as sprawling tent cities, which take over land that is about 4,000 hectares, which is the equivalent of 7,500 football fields. And this year there are extra security measures in place to try to avoid any disasters, any crowds crushing people as they move forward into the waters. There are checkpoints with hundreds of police officers monitoring the crowds, as well as AI-operated surveillance cameras to make sure everything goes smoothly. There are also drones, both in the air and underwater for the first time, to make sure the festival, which lasts 45 days, goes smoothly. A festival that's already so immense and popular that this year is expected to break previous attendance records. Salima Shivji, CBC News, Mumbai.
Canada's main stock index rose 200 points Wednesday amid a broad-based rally led by technology, financials, and base metals. Here's a look at how the markets did as we head to break.
Whether you're just waking up or you're on your way to work, we're here bringing you compelling stories from across the province.
And keeping you up to date with the latest in news, weather, sports, and traffic.
I'm Portia Clark.
And I'm Matt Brand.
Join us for Information Morning for the Mainland, weekdays on CBC Radio.
CBC building looked familiar there, didn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Thankfully.
The green trees.
Yeah, the green trees were nice too.
They're not so green anymore. There's been like enough snow, I think, to keep things looking fresh.
Yeah, that's right. And a little dusting for some, most overnight, some more than others, especially in the west, as we said earlier, in the Yarmouth County area. And, there's been many mornings lately, and certainly the next couple of mornings will look a lot like this as you either look out the window or look to the windshield. This one from Heather Miller. Heather did not say where she's from, so we will say any town, Nova Scotia.
Any window, anywhere, yeah.
But a beautiful shot.
Hand painted almost.
Looks
the
like
brush.
Feathers,
Yeah,
doesn't
It really does. Yeah. So nice when you look at the details, even when they're freezing cold details. Heather Miller, thank you so much. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Temperatures for Thursday are going to be right near the freezing mark for Cape Breton. That's where the winds will be breeziest. Sustained near 15 to 20, gusting 30 to 40. Across the rest of the mainland, the winds are going to back off, starting in the 20, gusting 30 to 40 range early on, but easing into the afternoon. And this is what it will look like wind chill wise as we move through tonight into tomorrow. You can see we're starting in those minus double digits and minus teens, especially up towards Cumberland County. And then into the afternoon, we'll see some relief, but it's still going to be pretty brisk out there. So make sure you're bundled up for Thursday. Those flurries will come to an end for most. Still a chance for the most part throughout the day on Thursday for Cape Breton and into Antigonish County. Slight risk throughout the day as well. Everywhere else, it looks like we'll see the greatest chance of a slight flurry in the morning and then a mix of sun and cloud into the afternoon. And there's that area of high pressure which will move in just in time for Friday night when we'll see the skies most clear, and then we'll see the clouds building in through Saturday, wet weather Sunday, and then that cold air next week.
Get ready for it. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Rock legend Jeff Beck's guitars are being auctioned in London. Christie's Auction House is offering a sneak preview this week.
Well, the estimates range from £100 to the top lot at £500,000 at the upper estimate. Really, it is aimed at everyone. It's all of Jeff's fans around the world.
The guitar is expected to fetch the highest price. That's the 1954 Gibson Les Paul. The Oxblood axe is featured on the cover of Beck's solo album, Blow by Blow. 130 guitars are up for grabs, along with amps and other equipment.
Beck played in the groundbreaking group the Yardbirds, but his distinctive sound supported many artists such as Tina Turner to Sting. Beck passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, he could play, that's for sure. That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.